Welcome back, everybody. We are here as late night
real late.
snacks.
Real late night snacks.
We told you guys we were going to go back to being late night snacks, and here we are.
Here we are.
But we are here
so
to
late,
discuss This Is Us, Season 5, Episode 4, Honestly.
And we couldn't get Kaylee tonight either. She went to bed too. So we're really late.
We're really late. Well, it's after midnight in Central, so it's after 1 Eastern.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was my fault, actually. It wasn't my fault. It was
it was a miscommunication, and then it was, nothing you could do about it. It comes on when it comes on.
Yep.
So we have a guest with us tonight for your entertainment, your eye candy for the evening.
Yeah.
And we will get into why that's there in a minute. But yeah, let me just go ahead and start by saying I'm Irish Melly. I am so happy to be here discussing this with you, along with the beautiful DeWanda.
Hey, everybody.
And the elusive that guy.
Just that guy.
Just that guy.
So we
my goodness. Hi, Deb.
It's late.
Welcome. Welcome, Deb. That's for you. Since you're here, Deb, that's for you.
Wow.
All is well in the world now. Deb, why are you awake? That's
why are you awake? We're glad you're here.
No, I'm glad you're awake. Well, maybe, because I was saying maybe that means you're feeling a little better, but if you could be awake because you don't feel good now that I think about it. So either way, we love you. We love you for being here, and we hope you're feeling well. And if not, we hope we can entertain you enough to make you feel better.
Do that.
So yeah, let's start with how this episode starts. Who wants to jump in?
Well, first off, should we say before the jump, before anything gets started, that January 5th.
January
5th.
Yeah.
That's a long way off.
I told you guys they always pause for Thanksgiving and all through Christmas and the New Year's.
Why did they start?
Because they always do that because they want to give you something, and they always do their big Thanksgiving episode, which was weird. We didn't get this time.
It seems like we usually get about 5 or 6 episodes at least before this.
Yeah,
3 weeks. 3 weeks. And then they took this long extended break.
Well, we also know it was a little late getting back. I mean, obviously with this year, the year of, 2020 and all, it's almost over. So let's hope it gets better. But
yes, I'm glad it's on. But
knock on wood.
This is so frustrating. I'd rather they just have waited.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
You know what, though? There's not a lot that is on that's supposed to be on. So it's actually kind of smart rating wise.
Well, sure, smart. It's just so frustrating as a viewer. As a viewer, it's really frustrating. No insomnia, but I feel good. All right, insomnia's good.
And I don't know the show at all, though. LOL.
It's okay.
Oh, there's the end shot.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, I had to get something. Huh? Oh, lucky.
Lucky, yeah.
That's all right. We'll obviously see. We'll entertain you.
Oh God.
So I guess character-wise,
because I do have a jock strap on tonight, so y'all are super lucky.
Character-wise, we'll get started. Do you guys want to start with Randall, or do you want to start with Kate?
Hey. Kate. Let's start with
Kate, I guess.
Okay.
First
so
off,
we open with
Kaylee,
Kate.
wait. Kaylee wanted to mention when we get to the reveal of the storyline, she called this mess last season. We were on the phone. She's like, I bet you she just did. She was da-da-da-da.
I did too. I did too with the thing that we'll get to, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, we open with Kate at the doctor's office with Ellie, who is the woman carrying the child that her and Toby are going to adopt after its birth. And we see they have their masks on. The doctor, Ellie does, and so does Kate. And Kate is like video chatting Toby in so he can see the ultrasound because they're getting a 3D ultrasound done of the baby, which we know is a little girl.
Michael.
Yeah, just for you, Deb. Crotch shot.
Toast, you're lucky. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
So then they're talking and everything, and Ellie already seems like you can see it in the eyes. And the eyes, this is where we're learning with the acting, how the eyes say so much because so many people are wearing masks for obvious real world reasons, and they have to wear them to film this close. So it's amazing all of the acting you get from just the eyes. And this is from someone that is more of an unknown actor. I don't know what her filmography looks like, the woman who plays Ellie, but it was amazing just to see her eyes because you could tell there was concern as she looked at Kate and as she looked at the ultrasound, and you just weren't sure what it was, but you knew there was something there. And then Kate mentions, something to Toby, and she says, "Oh, there's our little Chloe." Mm-hmm. And that's when you see it even more in her eyes. She's more concerned and done. And then they have their conversation out in the parking lot after the appointment. You want to pick it up from there, Mike?
Yeah, well, I just want to comment on there is the whole thing about the appointment and about the name of Chloe, and I think that's shoehorned in there to try and confuse us. Is this really what is her name?
Ellie.
No, the daughter.
The daughter. Her name is Haley.
Haley. Is this going to be Haley or is this not? Is this going to go bad? Is this not? It's like, why does that have to be?
I think it was more of an opening for them to have the conversation so that we could get to where we're getting with Kate.
Yeah, but the name reveal originally, when Kate was telling Toby in the beginning, I think that was to confuse us. That was to be like, Chloe, wait a minute, that's not Haley's name. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like that they're trying to make this a mystery when it's just like, let's just make it Haley. We know it's Haley. This because the other stuff that's evolving with Kate is so much more interesting.
Well, as we talk about it, maybe that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. It's like
Debbie fixed her problem. Our mouths were not matching.
Yeah, they weren't matching. Like it's not us, Deb.
Our voices. That's what it was. Our mouths weren't matching. We were like in anime.
So she goes out in the parking lot and they're talking, and Kate asks her, are you having doubts? Because I saw the concern in your eyes, and when I said the name, maybe I have overreached. And then Ellie, she goes into this whole story about how her husband was her childhood sweetheart. That when they were in school, when they were like a sophomore or something, when they were in school, there was this girl that ended up it was a bully situation.
Yeah, that's what it was. Just a bully
situation, and the girl's name was Chloe. And so I was like, oh, how right? She's like, please, anything but Chloe. And Kate's like, of course. And then she asked her, she says, well, are you having second thoughts? And Ellie says, yes, I'm having second thoughts about everything in my life.
Everything. She says, my whole life I've had second thoughts about my whole life.
So that was
she
really
said, except for you and Toby.
Except for you
and
Toby. Yeah.
I think that's when we know that this is going to be Haley. And
I think you're right. I think that solidified it.
Yeah.
We could be wrong. They might throw a wrench, but it sounded very definite and finite right there, with that. And I think maybe that's why the whole name thing was there, not to throw us off, but to show us that that's what it was going to be, that it's not going to be a Chloe.
Correct. Yeah. So.
But then we get into the story, and she tells more about, when she's saying why she's sure of them. She tells her that, she had talked to the father, and her husband had died, and this was a one-time thing. And then
she went in for
an abortion. She actually scheduled the abortion. She said she only made it as far as the parking lot, and then she changed her mind. And that's when we will get to that in just a second.
We will get to that.
We'll tell you all about that.
Yeah. So Ellie says that she was originally going to abort this baby, and you see an interesting look on Kate's face.
You do.
She's like, I'm not judging you. She's like, there's no.
Yeah, she said no judgment here.
And so I don't know if we're going to go into the reveal later on why the look was there. I guess we could. It doesn't
we are.
So in the end of the episode, Kate is talking to Toby about the day. She says, I met with Ellie and blah 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 with the name.
She looks very distraught sitting at the table, and Toby's talking
like,
about the name thing, the 3D image of the baby.
He's like, what's the matter with you? And so she goes back. If you remember last season, we started to get into we thought was pretty much the chunk of the story of her at 18 years old or 17 years old.
17, 18, because it was right after their birthdays and stuff.
With this boyfriend who ended up being an abuser, a physical abuser.
Very abusive. And the
I can't remember his name right now. But yeah.
The last we saw of him was when her and him went off to the cabin for the weekend. Yeah. And she ended up having to call her family, and basically mom and the brothers came up and they were like, oh hell no. And they saw her bleeding in her arm and stuff. And so we found out, we already knew with everything leading up, but it was finally like, yes, get her away from this guy.
Did they get her away from him at that point though? I don't remember.
At that point they did.
They did.
Because I remember she lied about it. She lied.
Well, when we see the flash for next episode, that's not going to be for a little while now. They showed, so we'll get to that too.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. So she reveals that with that abusive relationship at 18 years old, she was pregnant, and she had an abortion.
Can I point out something that was a little? What was that one? YouTube channel was Cinema Sins or whatever, where they would find all the little things that were wrong and point them out. Oh. Well, when she says goodbye to Rebecca, and then you already know what it's going to be at this point. And she opens that drawer, opens the bag from the pharmacy, and you see the kit. And then we see her in the bathroom, and it's a positive pregnancy test. It was a clear blue, easy pregnancy test that she had in the bathroom. That's not what.
All we got was the actual result of the pregnancy test.
Yeah, we didn't get anything about abortion.
Beyond that, we didn't get anything about an abortion or anything like that. It's assumed that did happen.
But my whole point though is the little thing is that when she opens the drawer right after Rebecca leaves, before when we see it, and we're supposed to think, oh, she's got a pregnancy test, and then we see her taking it. In the drawer, it's an ovulation kit. If you read it. So at first, it threw me off because I was like, wait, so maybe, how they time jump. So I thought maybe they time jumped to her taking the pregnancy test, but I thought maybe her and her boyfriend were actually planning and trying to get pregnant because he seemed abusive, controlling. But then I was like, no, it's probably just a slip. They probably just put an ovulation kit. It was a man who went and bought it. They're like, we need a pregnancy test for this shot. And he went to the store and just grabbed one, and that's what I got.
Well, we don't know
but it opens it up, like I said, where you could think maybe were they trying to plan this?
Yeah, we don't know she had an abortion.
We don't know she had an abortion.
She may have lost this baby with an abusive sex situation.
Well, and they never say that. Even when she's talking with Toby at that table, but you see that look on Toby's face after she would have told him, but they cut away from that so we don't see that. But you see Toby's face, and you're like, and like you said, we know later that she wasn't there, at least then, with Toby, and Jack is on his way, but they are on their way. So we assume that's Haley, but we don't know.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know. Well, it's obvious that it's later on in the future, we know that her and Toby are not together. Well, at least Toby's not wearing a wedding ring. Toby was alone in that room. Toby has to call.
And we know we threw a little bit of a theory of what that could be last week when we talked about it, because it doesn't have to mean they're divorced.
Yeah. No. She'd be dead. I think Kate's gonna be that. Really?
I don't know about that. I don't want to go down that road.
We'll worry about that next week when we discuss theory. I want to take a moment real quick to ask, if you guys love this show like we do, please give this stream a big thumbs up. Hit the little bell and subscribe if you haven't, so that you're notified every time we upload. And just know that next week, since we don't have This Is Us coverage, we will be doing a This Is Us What We Know So Far theories.
Yeah.
So
and then remember, we're going to be getting into we're going to be getting into the stand at the beginning in December. So This Is Us will be able to take a break.
Because
the stands cover's coming.
Yes.
All right, so that's Kate. So let's do Kevin really quick. Kevin's story was real brief. This episode is basically about.
There wasn't a lot of Kevin.
It was two things. It was one, they were showing that Jack overparented him, and Jack was kind of controlling in the sense that he wanted the best for his kids, but pushed, and we found out that Kevin,
we get more information again where he's talking about his father and how his father never gave a shit.
Yeah.
So he wants to make sure his kids can do things for themselves and be strong because they need to be, because that's what he had to be. But then we have Rebecca, who's the mom, and mom wants to help her kid. Every time her kid cries, screams, yells, has a problem, you want to solve it. That's our job as those nurturers.
And Jack was, I think Jack overdid it, but I think Jack overdid it not with all the right intentions. So it's, but we found out that Kevin pushed back a lot on this when he was a teenager, that he was lazy, that he was, not giving his best foot forward, and that's going to come into play.
Kevin seemed to have issues. I've noticed they don't
following through,
but on school,
he has a problem following through with things.
Following through in general, yes, but with school, that if you guys paid attention, it seems to be an ongoing theme where he seems to really struggle in school. And then when he asks Randall about the memorization techniques for the testing and stuff, it seems like he really, like you said, finally wants to make that effort and follow through because he needs the extra work, because he has to work extra hard for it. It seems like.
Yeah, well, and he doesn't want to disappoint Jack, but that's going to come into play later because remember, Kevin blames himself for Jack's death because of his broken leg, and Kevin's going to break his leg in football season.
Yep.
It's going to have something to do with,
and that's going to spiral him into that whole thing about his life being over, and
it probably got something. His broken leg probably got something to do with him not doing something right or completing something, or who knows. But I think this is all building up to that. So we learn that of his past, and then we see the future where he's working with this director who is, Kevin idolizes this director, and him and this fellow actress are working on the scene that this director had hired them for this movie. And the director basically tells him point blank, I've dealt with directors like this before too. He's like, you know what, you're good, you're all right. When you retire or you die, they're going to say, oh, Kevin, he was great, he was good.
But you could be great.
But you can be great. And he's like, you need to put in the work. And so basically it's putting back to Kevin, his flashback to his childhood. Wait a minute, if I give my all, then maybe I will be great. And so you see him at the end using the same techniques that he was using, that Randall taught him with the memorization stuff, of setting his lines and stuff. They're really pushing to be great. So
because he had a conversation with Kate in the car on the phone, and he's basically saying that he wants to be able to take his mother to the Oscars.
Yeah.
That is one thing that he wants to be able to do. He wants to win an Oscar so he can thank her for everything that she's done for him.
And remember, Kevin does everything for someone else.
Yeah, for someone else.
Yeah, he never does anything for himself. It's like he's not important enough for himself. He's always trying to do something.
And I think that's where these babies are going to come into play for him. Mm-hmm. It's finally going to be something for him. It's still going to be for somebody else, but it's going to be for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Kevin just needs to fix something. He's always needing to care for something or fix something, but he's never fixed himself.
No.
Interesting character. So that's Kevin. Randall.
Well, Kevin, by the end, though, he gets the basket.
From the director. Yeah.
The basket from the director.
And
because he waited for the director, and he's like, I don't know what to call you. What should I call you? And he got a basket, and the basket said, "Attaboy." That was part of the conversation.
The director had said to him, "What? I didn't realize that you were the type of actor that I had to give an attaboy to."
Right.
So that's why he got the basket.
Yeah. Because Kevin, the director was sensing that Kevin was not going to come back. And the director was telling him, "Are you going to take the harsh criticism and come back? It's up to you." And Kevin was like,
"Well," and he signed it. That's how he signed it, Foster. So it was like he was telling him, "This is what you can call me. This is our bond or our connection now."
I didn't get that. I got the attaboy thing that he's.
I got the attaboy.
So I didn't take it that way. I took it as because of the conversation that they had. I don't think he was trying to smear it in his face. I think he was trying to encourage him to come back. And he's like, all right, remember our conversation, attaboy, come on, attaboy, and then he signed it. Like I said, Foster. It wasn't director David Foster or whatever his name is or whatever. The big thing was Foster Kevin asking, what do I call you?
Yeah, Foster. Yeah, that's true. See,
I see how you guys are looking at it. It could go either way. I'm hoping it goes the way I'm thinking.
Well, I think it went both ways. I think it was.
It could be both, though.
It was about him coming back, and it was about what to call him. The attaboy was about him coming back, and the Foster was about what to call him. So it was both. I actually took it that Kevin came back, and that was a thank you for coming back. That's how I took it. We just didn't see him go back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was Kevin. So now we get to Randall. Go ahead.
Randall.
Well, we start with Randall, where we see the beginning of their day. He's getting ready like he does for any other day to go down to the city, to be a councilman. And we find out that Malik is shadowing him for the day. Malik is his oldest daughter's boyfriend.
Is Deja's boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one that has a young daughter, an infant daughter.
Yeah.
And obviously they're very young. So they had all of that beef at first, but they're getting past that now. And he's spending more time with him, and he's seeing that this is actually a very intelligent child. This is actually someone who knows what he wants in life. He's got a plan. And they have that conversation. But before they have that conversation, his assistant can't be there to run his stream, which he does. Did he say it was weekly?
Mm-hmm.
It's a weekly live stream that he does. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I knew. It wasn't daily, but yeah. Okay, so his weekly live stream where he briefs his constituents on things going on and everything else, and his assistant can't be there, so Malik says I can help, or they ask him to help, and all he has to do is start and end the stream. Simple enough. But it's actually a very big job, as we find out.
It is.
Why someone wouldn't just check to see if a red light's on or if your light goes off or something. I don't know. Especially before you take your clothes off.
It's true, though, because it is a big job. You have to be paying attention when you turn it off.
Exactly. And so he gets a phone call from his mother, who is discussing his young infant daughter with him. There's something wrong. We know that much, at least, maybe not horribly wrong, but we know at least maybe the baby's not feeling well or something, because he says to his mother, he says, well, she was fine when I left this morning. And he didn't seem overly concerned after that, but there was some concern. Right. So it was probably, like I said, a fever, maybe a cough, runny nose, something like that, smaller. Yeah. I'm hoping we don't have anything happen to that poor baby. But, anyway, so he's not paying attention. He's turned his back to the laptop now, and he's on the phone. Randall has ended his live stream. It's over, and he starts, as we see here, taking off his clothes, dancing.
Yup. That's when
we find out that his family watches his live streams.
Yeah.
His weekly live stream. His one daughter comes running down the stairs. She's like, oh my God, Dad's taking his clothes off on camera. The other one's like, you need to check your husband right now. His clothes are coming off. So they try to call him. His phone's not answering because he's not looking at his phone because he's taking his clothes off and dancing. I think the only thing that was missing was I wanted some music. Like I wanted him to hit a button on the laptop, on some music, and then start taking his clothes off.
Well, the importance of
like an old soul pop type of, oldies but goodies type of music going.
Well, it goes viral.
Yes,
and it does. It goes viral, as we see here. I'll move on the way. This is actually I can't get out of the way. This is actually one of the memes, because we see him looking at the computer, and there's two different memes that have already gone viral.
Yeah.
And this is one of them. The other one says something about how I feel when I get home and I finally take my mask off for the day.
It's funny. It's a light moment for the show, but it comes out to be a very important moment. It comes back to the first episode, or last week's episode. And basically, we go back to that Vietnamese gentleman who had the pictures of his mother Randall's mother, real birth mother, in the house.
Yeah.
And we see that the
that was it was a quick little flash quick with him all of a sudden. And we still don't know what time frame we're in with this guy.
Well, obviously he's watching Randall's video. And he hears the name William Hill.
Yes.
So now we know that
because we see he keeps rewinding it, playing that part, not the part with him taking his clothes off, which everybody else was doing. He was rewinding him saying his father's name.
Yeah. So now we know that Randall's birth mother has obviously told this Vietnamese man about WilliamLl. So that's how we're going to get the connection. To I think the Vietnamese
now about Randall because. Well, I guess if it went viral, but otherwise, why would he be watching that clip? So, I mean, maybe that's why they made it go viral so that he would see it. But
and so it's not going to be Randall seeking him out. It's going to be this Vietnamese guy seeking Randall out.
Seeking Randall.
The Vietnamese guy, not the mother. The mother's gone again, I think. I think the mother's gone. Like my story. You look for
and maybe he's got to find him. He wants to tell him her story.
The question is, though, is she alive or is she dead? We don't know.
I don't think she's alive anymore.
If she's dead,
at this point, I don't think it really matters.
If she's dead, y'all better call the therapist for me. It's too real. Too close on.
Yep.
So Randall, because of this incident, Randall and Malik have a conversation. And Randall basically, he doesn't lay into him, but he lets him know like a disappointed dad, like, I'm disappointed. This shouldn't happen. Like you were 6 minutes late this morning. You were tired, falling asleep while you were here. And then that's when Malik, and I was thinking it the whole time too, though, already before they called it. I'm like, he's a young kid. He's got a baby and he does everything for his kid. And we've already found this out before in prior episodes. Mm-hmm. So I knew he was tired because of his child. And so then, he does, and he tells him, I have a plan. This is what I want for my life. He's like, I'm going to go to an Ivy League college. I am going to,
culinary school.
He's going to go to culinary school. And, he wants to have the first restaurant in Philadelphia to have, 4 Michelin stars, right?
I hope it works out. I tell you, there's something weird. Does anybody else feel that there's something getting really bad to happen to Malik?
Yeah, because we really like him now.
I really don't want that to happen because I really do like that character a lot.
And I think Asia's been through enough, and we're finally starting to see her soften.
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact that Randall keeps the fact that Randall keeps playing with her like this, it's like, I know this bothers you because your boyfriend and your mother really
So he offers Malik an internship that Malik needs to get into this Ivy League school. He needs a really good internship from a certain possible councilman. Mm-hmm. So. And then he offers him the internship, and then he messes with Deja about that too. And she says, "Oh, so you gave him the internship? Great."
You're trying to ruin my life.
Yeah, you're trying to ruin my life, aren't you?
I think something really bad is going to happen to Malik, and I think it's a shame if it does.
Oh, I know. I love his character, though.
I mean, that wraps Randall up. So, I mean, and we didn't really get Rebecca other than Rebecca's interaction with Kevin.
Yeah, we didn't get in the past. We did,
and that's why I said it was a little weird because this is usually when they have their big Thanksgiving episode with the whole family, and we do the hat, Jack
in the cabin. We do the hot dogs in the cabin, and they're tradition every year. And
but maybe because of COVID, it's supposed to be because it keeps people apart there. Because we've got to remember they don't all live in the same side of the country either.
I think they may mention it next episode because we're going back to flashbacks in the cabin next episode.
Yeah.
So they may mention something about Thanksgiving in the next episode. But yeah,
okay, can we talk about the fact that they refuse to keep their masks on? I swear to God, that drives me crazy.
It drives me nuts. They're sitting there. I'm holding a mask, everybody.
I'm holding a mask.
It's COVID. Y'all see my mask? Who walks around holding their mask? It's like, this is how they walk. It's not even like they stick in the
pocket. It drives me up the wall. It's like, no, you guys are not doing it right.
It's like a big old, here's my mask. Everybody see it? I'm holding it. Hear it.
They put it on for like 2 seconds and they take it off. They're standing right next to people. It's like, no. This is not, you're not doing it right. It's frustrating.
If you're going to do COVID in your storyline, if you're going to have it there, just be aware about doing it. And I realize it's hard to film actors without seeing their face. don't put them in that situation. There's no reason they have to be outside or in a situation where they're wearing a mask. You know, if you're going to do a doctor's office kind of thing, you could do a Zoom call on doctor's office. You can do whatever to avoid these mass situations, because it's like last week with the park, when they went to the park, Toby and Kay were in the park, and they're meeting with Ellie. Everybody was like,
it's realistic. I really would wear it for an ultrasound like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Well, yeah, that's a realistic thing.
When they're walking around holding them or taking them off less than 6 feet in front of somebody in an outdoor place that they just met, that's not realistic. That's not even responsible to be showing on TV like that. It's
yeah.
I tell you, tonight I went into a Circle K tonight to go get a drink. Nobody in that motherfucker was wearing a mask. Not the attendant, not the 3 people that came in behind them walking past me. I was pissed.
But we digress.
I'm not in California anymore.
That wraps up This Is Us, Season 5, Episode 4, Honestly.
Honestly.
We love you guys. We love you for being here. Join us next time. Like I said, we've got theories coming for you guys. We've got a bunch coming. If you want to know, watch yesterday's video, our announcement video, because there's a bunch coming. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell. We will see you in the next one.
Kaylee will be back for theories. Guys. We'll have Kaylee back for theories. She'll be back.
Woohoo! All right.